Let us begin the solid state subject with the important quote about the understanding of this. So I have always stressed on the purpose of classification is not to set forth certain final truths, but rather to use as stepping stones towards greater understanding. And this way, the electrical and magnetic properties, even optical properties, can be better understood by crystallography. So here, the electrical properties of semiconductors and superconductors can be better explained based on the crystallography. So you must know that semiconductors become conductors upon increasing temperature, become conductors on increasing temperature. Whereas this reverse is true for the superconductors. So high temperature reduces the conductivity, of superconductors. So why this happens? Now you have to know the basic things about the crystals. Also, naturally occurring minerals are classified based on their chemical composition and crystal structure. So if you look at the study of crystals, the laws that govern their growth, external shape, external shape is the crystalline shape, and internal structure is called this crystallography. So it's a very basic definition. Almost everyone has to come across this. And a crystal may possess only certain combinations of symmetry elements. Symmetry elements is very important, even given the way the crystals are grown and the properties are accounted for. Mineral crystals are grouped into 7 crystal systems, and every mineral belongs to one of these crystals. Every mineral belongs to one of these crystals. So let us see what these crystals are. Here it is. I have given the shapes, and you must know that these have got the names. Here I am just going to tell you about what factors you are going to take into consideration. We will consider this side as A, and consider this side as B, and this side as C. If you take this, A is almost the same size as B, but it is not equal to C. And the next thing is the angle. This is the angle, and this is the angle. Okay, so the angle between this, and this one. We can have 3 different angles. One is you call it as alpha, the other one you call it as beta, the third one you call it as a gamma. So there are cases where you will have A equal to B equal to C and alpha equal to beta equal to gamma. So they may be 90 degree, there may be some same value, for example about 10 angstrom, okay, and these may be about 90 degree or even 0 degree or even between 0 to 180 degree, like that. So the angles keep changing. You can see that these are straight, so the sides are very different. A is equal to B, but it is not equal to C. Here A also equal to B, but it is not equal to C. And this is the most basic. We call it as the simple cubic. And here you can see that these 2 degrees, they are not 90 degrees. So you will write it as not equal to 90 degree. One will be, some of them will be 90 degree, but here all the 3 are not equal to 90 degree. Alpha is not equal to beta, is not equal to gamma, is not equal to 90 degree. And this is quite opposite of what we have in simple cubic system. Alpha equal to beta equal to gamma equal to 90 degree. So this, we are going to see how these cubing shapes, they are going to give rise to something which we call it as the hexagonal. Hexagonal closed shapes and hexagonal packing structures have been the hallmark of many natural phenomena, including something which you see in the honeybees. The structure of the honeybees is hexagonal. That has got some peculiar properties. So it is actually an extension of something like a cube. You can get a cube here. Okay, that is the way one has to realize. So if the arrangement of atoms is such that it is going to take some cubes. So if you take up some cubes here, another cube here, okay, this is going to give rise to something like hexagonal, and the properties change. Also, they are dependent on the types of crystals that we are studying. So let us see what is happening there. And this slide, which I am showing you here, seems very important because it is often on the hallmark of a student who is also a MSc chemistry or BSc chemistry. You must know this. The first one is the simple cubic, second one is tetragonal, third one is orthogonal, fourth one is rhombohedral, fifth one hexagonal, sixth one monoclinic, seventh one triclinic. And in the first thing we have seen that A equal to B equal to C and alpha equal to beta equal to 90 degree. Therefore, they belong to space lattice type. We call it as a simple cubic, body centered cubic, or face centered cubic. We are going to see what a body is, what a face is, and what a simple cubic is. So this we name it as space lattice. Lattice is a unit that gets repeated. Lattice usually have a unit that gets repeated. Now, in a particular order, you must say that it is getting repeated in a particular order. All this we call it as the axis. A equal to B equal to C, axial length and angle is given there. So even though you may not remember all the 7 basic types, you should keep in mind that the next thing is A equal to B, but it is not equal to C. And alpha equal to beta equal to 90 degree. That goes to the second class known as the tetragonal. In the orthorhombic, you will not have A is not equal to B, is not equal to C, but alpha will be equal to beta will be equal to 90 degrees. So this is something like variations and combinations are working out, and those are called as the orthorhombic. Most of the organic crystals that we grow in the lab or elsewhere, uh, organic compounds, you have to account for the property of the organic compounds. The best thing you have to do by accounting of the organic compounds is to grow them in the purest form. For that, you have to look into the crystalline chemistry, and that is the pure growth of the pure crystals. So they may have BCC, base-centered, FCC, orthorhombic crystals, and you can classify them depending on the number of atoms and the number of double bonds present in the organic molecule. So this is also the case with inorganic crystals. Also inorganic. Why I am telling organic is nowadays we have lot of properties associated with OLED. We call it as the organic light emitting diode. The organic light emitting diode is relatively cheaper than ordinary LED. In the ordinary LED, you will have inorganic materials like silicates and other non-stoichiometric compounds. So that gives rise to very expensive chemistry, and that they become very expensive when you want to grow in the larger scales. But OLEDs are very cheaper compared to them. So nowadays the chemistry is with OLED. Almost all your organic, the bright screens that you see in the mobile phones, tabs, and laptops are all composed of only OLED when you want to have very good optical properties. So the next class is rhombohedral, where A equal to B equal to C, but alpha equal to beta is not equal to 90 degree. So this is something wrong there. So you have to put it like this. Is not equal to 90 degree. Only two angles will be right, and the fourth one, which you have seen in the earlier slides, will be belong to that. And the next in the hexagonal, you will see that this A equal to B equal to 120 degree, but it is not equal to C, and therefore this may be something like 90 degree. And you know very well that hexagonal, you have benzene molecule. In that you will have all these angles will be 120 degree only. So that is what is mentioned there. So these belong to 120 degree only. And alpha and beta will be equal to 90 degree, whereas gamma will be equal to 120 degree. Okay, but there are certain cases where you can have A equal to B equal to C also, but it will give rise to most of the time skews, but they rearrange when you just substitute some atom and when there is some impurity there, they give rise to what is called as the simply hexagonal in nature. So in the monoclinic, alpha is not equal to beta is not equal to C, but whereas the alpha equal to, I mean that A is not equal to B is not equal to C, whereas alpha equal to beta equal to C. So this particular aspect is very essential for everyone who is going to take up this. So whether they're going for inorganic or organic, I suggest that you remember these parameters. Okay, remembering these parameters, they are very essential. And the last part of that critical analysis here, you will have A is not equal to B, which is not equal to C, and alpha is not equal to B, which is not equal to gamma. Alpha is not equal to beta, is not equal to gamma, and they are not 90 degrees. Like we have some other degrees. So this is quite opposite of what you see in cubic. Once you see, they compare this to cubic, all are equal. A equal to B equal to C, alpha equal to beta equal to. So quite opposite of that, A is not equal to B is not equal to C, and alpha is not equal to beta is not equal to gamma is not equal to 90 degrees, some other degrees. And in between you have variations between A sides, B sides, and C sides, and some angles. And these 7 are the basic systems of a simple crystallographic phenomena. And there are some different 41 symmetries, if you go for organic things. Nowadays, it has become very important for PG students to understand all those, some of the basics of the 41 systems, because OLED has come to stay. You know very well how OLED is there uh, in the market. Okay. So now let us see what happens to the properties. We have a primitive cube when a second layer is placed over the first layer. And a second layer is placed over the first layer. This is an important definition in such a way that each sphere in the second layer is directly over a sphere in the first layer. Now this is something where we see in our day-to-day life. We have a spherical layer like this. Okay. The thing is, you can place the sphere exactly on the gaps between this. There is this possibility. There is this possibility is there, and other possibility is locating them exactly over them. So this is one option of locating exactly over them, and this is one option of locating in between the gap. Okay, so this is the gaps. But what we have to study for the primitive cube is this will be the first layer and this will be the second layer. So if you place each sphere in the second layer directly over a sphere in the first layer. Okay, this first layer, we place it this layer, a primitive cell is formed. Now this is to scale. This is not to scale, that they are not touching here. They are not touching. I'm just putting some Van der Waals sphere. So that means 4 to 5 angstroms will be there. So there will be enough bonding between them. Since each sphere has 6 immediate neighbors, 4 spheres in the same layer, 1 in the upper layer and 1 in the lower, it has a coordination number of 6. How you have to mention about the 6 is that, so you can see that, if you have a primitive cube, you can just see that it is connected by 4 spheres just above this, like this. Okay, so that 4 is 4 spheres is what is being done here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the next is that 2 layers. That something that goes above. Next layer is you will have another sphere here. And another sphere below. So one sphere here, one sphere here, and that means they will be giving is to 5 and 6. So this keep in mind. I'm just going to tell about this in the future classes. Where you can have the idea about how they are distributed. I'm going to tell you in my next slides. The primitive cell arrangement is not the most efficient way of packing spheres within the given volume. The packing efficiency is only 52.3%. So this is just an information you need to know, that the packing is not efficient. So if you have some larger cells, they cannot be packed very well in the simple cubic pattern. So the packing pattern is to remember this. The simple cubic, you'll have only 52.3%. So this is clearly illustrated here on the first layer. If you view it from the top, This is the first layer, atom 1, atom 2, atom 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. They may not be connected. Some may be connected by means of a bond. This is another bond, and this may be another bond. And this may not be connected. This may not be connected. But I'm just going to mention that the connectivity, and distance, the connectivity and non-connectivity both will have the same distance. That is why you get something called as the lattice. So this is a top view. Like when you view from the above, you'll have a particular layer. So this particular layer, is what is being in this one. You have 4 spheres there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to take these 4 spheres. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 4 spheres encircled in red are at the top layer. Okay. Now the next part is the next layer. I'm just going down and placing the next 4 spheres in the next part. Here it is. It is not visible at all. So this is one. And that layer is not this atom or this atom or this atom or this atom or this atom. Something just above this. Let me place it like this. Above. I'm just placing it like this. Okay. So you have got about 8 cubes, and 8 cubes you are got. Okay. So one cube exactly like this. One cube, one cubic layer like this, and then the next layer adjacent to this. Okay. So you make center of all this. The connectivity, not the bonds. Remember, there are not always the bonds. You make a cube like this. So you can have a cube like this. Okay, this is one circle and this is another circle. I'm just removing this. Okay, so that gives rise to a very good cube. Okay, in a cube, if you see a cube, you should keep in mind that this is not something very far away, not far away, but it is actually a sphere coming like this, another sphere going like this. So that is being mentioned here. This is sideways. So in fact, suppose if you take potassium size is very larger, and the size of the potassium is very larger. So it is taking up a lot of space, and sodium is smaller, it may be taking a lot of space, but chlorine or some other molecule will be here. So you will have alternate things, and you will have only small gaps in between these gaps. In fact, the size of these atoms, they vary based on the atomic numbers. It's very quite clear. So if you have NaCl, the size of NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus is very small. But if you have K plus and Cl minus, they are almost the same size. Almost the same size. Here, not same size. Okay. So the particular spherical, is actually 1/8. And then next, if you go into another cube, it becomes 1/4. Next, go to another part, and then it becomes 1/2. And then next, draw another part, next cube, you will get the 1. Now this is assuming that the bottom layer is there. Here you will have one more layer. Okay. At the back of this, you will have one more layer. And again, in this you will have one more layer. Like this. You can go like this. So 4 layers at the bottom. And 4 layers on top. So each layer will be getting 1/8 shape. So 8 into 1/8 will be giving you this one. So one particular atom, is touching first cube, second cube, third cube, and fourth cube. This is the bottom layer. Okay, bottom layer. Same thing at the first cube, second cube, third cube, fourth cube, top layer. So you will have it is common to so many different layers. So this is how you have to see a simple cube, and is never imagine this in terms of something like a cubic box or something like that. Okay. Now a body centered cube is this that one is a simple cube in which you place the next atoms on top of the one layer. But in a body centered cube, the second layer fits in the second layer fits in the depression or the notches. It is actually N. Okay. What is meant by notch? Notch means in mobile phones you all might have seen that it comes like a slab, and here you have something round. This is called as a notch. Okay. The second layer, if you have a first layer, okay, first layer, and the second layer is fitting in this the depression over the first layer. Here, this is the notch. Okay, that gap that is formed here. The places like this, there's some kind of gap is being formed there, and this you can call it as the notch. And the third layer are the depressions of the second layer. Likewise, first layer, second layer, third layer. Okay, they keep on fitting like this, and so on this forms a body centered cube. The coordination number of each sphere is 8, and the packing efficiency is 68. This is for a simple cubic, it is 52.8%, and this one is 68%. So it is greater body centered cube. That means if you have a cube like this, okay, a particular atom which is very smaller, or which is compared to other atoms closer, can be placed inside the body like this, inside this gap like this. But this is absent in the case of simple cube. In the case of simple cube, you do not place this, right? So an extra atom is added when you go to the body centered cube. This is the body and this is the center. So you call it as the body centered cube. When you can add extra atom, the efficiency increases and it changes from 52.8% to 68%. So let us have a look into this. It is not moving. Here it is. Okay, so this is the top view. From the top view, I am just encircling the lower layers. Now, lower layers, I am just putting them in the form of a green lower layers. Okay, lower layers are green circles, and the top layer I will be just putting it with the means of some other color like this yellow. So yellow I am just placing on top of this. You can see that the gap that is formed, it can accommodate these gaps like this. So it's a kind of a very good gap, and putting the gap. You can call them as the notches, or sometimes some people call it as the grooves. So you have got about in this 12. I mean, that is the lower one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 4, 13. Out of 13, you got so many depressions there. Like in 13, you got 5 depressions there. So if you just, this is from the top view, moving, you want to view. First layer of balls you place like this. Okay. Second layer of balls you place above this here, this one, this groove. Now, if you move this yellow, I am just trying this yellow alone. The yellow alone will be something like this. Side views, it is giving you some other. Okay. And the next bottom layer is green. Okay, you just see that this is green. This is hidden there. So you green have in a green atoms, they are the lower layer, and these are the upper layer. So you can see that the red grooves, they are formed in between these four. You can see that it is forming like this. This is what you call it as the notches. Okay. Now side views, side views is this one, but actually what has happened when you put this is 1/8 of an atom. Another 1/8 you can put it here like this. Another 1/8 you can put it here like this. Another 1/8 you can put it here like this. Okay. So 4 into 1/8, it is giving you half. So you get half of this half sphere. You can see the half sphere. Another half sphere, you bring another cube. Half plus half, it will give rise to 1. Okay. So this is 1/8 of your atom. This is 1/8 of an atom. This is 1/8 of an atom. So you will require 8 such atoms to make one complete sphere. Complete sphere. And this sphere is actually the atom. And you can keep in mind that these spheres are not they are not cut. In fact, they are shared. Okay, this is shared by this particular cube. This is the cube there. I'm trying the cube. Okay, this is shared by one cube there. The next cube, it is shared like this. And the next cube, it is shared like this. And the next cube, it is shared like this. So all the 4 cubes, they form these 4 form the bottom. Another 4 at the top. So 8 into 1/8, it is giving rise to 1 cube. So what means 1 cube is shared by one atom is shared by the 8 circles. Therefore, you call it as the 1. And the last one, that is the most primitive cube, is the closed package structure. In this case, the second layer is stacked into the first layer in such a way that each sphere fits into the depression formed by the contact of 3 spheres. You have these 3. Okay. This is the depression that is there. That is what is being mentioned there. Very connected by, here it is. Okay. Formed by contact displays and the first layer. These are, however, 2 ways in which the third layer may be there. So you can place the first layer like this, second layer on the grooves of that, or second layer exactly onto that, but the third layer may cover the second layer or may cover the first layer. There are, however, 2 ways. Okay. So let me just take an example like this. So I can put exactly like this. Okay. Second layer. Third layer, I can put it like this, or if possible, I can put it on the gap like this. Either this or this. So this one is exactly above the first layer, but this one is in between the first and second layer. This is first. This is first and second, and between the grooves of that. Okay. So you can place another atom on the grooves like this. On the grooves like this, and the third exactly on this or exactly above this. So alternatively, the spheres can fit into the depressions that are directly or the first layer. In the case you obtain a face-centered cube, in both SCP and FCC structure, each sphere has a coordination number of 12. Okay, this you have to remember. Body-centered cube, simple cube, FCC. SC has 6, and this one has how much? 8. This one has 12. These 3 things you have to remember whether you get the question in the examination or not. Simple cube will have coordination number of 6. Body centered cube will have coordination number of 8, and face centered cube will have 12. And look at the efficiency. The packing efficiency is 74%. So it has increased from 52% to 64% to 72%. That means now a closed packing structure can accommodate more atoms, and it's very efficient. There is very less gap there. Okay, so that let us have a look into the gap there. Some of the structures that are examples are there given there. that has to do with the already existing structures like calcium fluoride and zinc sulfide. You can see that how they are arranged. So cubic close packing is mentioned here. Cubic close packing is mentioned there. This is causing some trouble. So tetrahedral and the other atoms, the other geometry can be easily imagined from this. So how? So you look at this, you can take these three, okay, and just have a look at these three. Okay, they get something like this. You get it, even like. So if you place three, this particular three, I'm just putting it here, and another three like this, you get a structure like this, prism like. There is other way in which you can place. You can place one triangle like this and another triangle like this. When you will frame the above, you can get a structure like this. So if you have a structure like this, it is comprising of 6 atoms there. What are the 6 atoms? The 6 atoms are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. To join them, you are getting something like a hexagonal type structure. The same layer. If you have it in a different layer, like this one and this one and this one, you will get a structure like this. So same layer you get a hexagon, different layers you will get a, what you call it as the octahedron. Okay, so I am just moving over to the how it is visualized there. Face centered cube, every face is having an atom. Here you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners of that. In between these, every 3 atom is making a dent there. This, for example, this, and this 3 is having a cube accommodation there. In between, in the triangle, the gap between this triangle, this atom is accommodated. And this atom is accommodated between 3 other different. This atom is accommodated between the grooves. So the grooves play a very good important role, and some examples are lithium and zinc sulfide in that. So here, 3 different layers I'm just going to mention is, the first layer is like this. And the second layer is exactly above this. It's going like this. And you can have like this. So this is going to give rise to some grooves there. Kind of grooves there. So I can just draw it separately. Okay, here I can just draw it. Let us move to this. Here it is. This is a kind of a compound which we call it the spinel of the type Ab2O3, in which you have MgAl2O3. So you can see this is the first layer, the red ones, and this is the red ones. This is the first layer. Okay, first layer, and the second layer is this one is the second layer. There is a third layer. Third layer is blue. Okay, so you can place the first layer like this, second layer on the grooves like this, and the third layer above this or above this, above the first layer. Here the first layer and third layer, first layer and third layer are same, above the same, So you can place this in these grooves also. You can move it here. So if they are different, that gives rise to this type of compound, which you call it the spiral. So here I am going to just tell you the last part of that today's speech there. Look at this, simple cubic. Every atom is shared by 8 corners. So 1 8 and 8 such cubes can give rise to one atom. Body centered cube, and that is 8 such cubes plus 1 at the center. This one is at the center plus 1. So here you have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Same thing is this is the 8. And each part is shared by 8 cubes. This is one cube adjacent to the second cube, below that third cube, above that fourth cube. Okay. So this is the lower layer, and the upper layer you will have another thing. Okay, and that gives rise to 8 such cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 4 in the lower, 4 in the upper gives rise to 8. So 8 into 1 by 8. So another atom, if you accommodate it in between, you have to add. The packing is giving rise to 2. So the coordination number is 6, and here you have 12. I'm sorry, you having 8, and here you have 12. And in the face-centered cubic, 8 corners are shared with the 8 cubes, therefore 8 into 1 by 8. And you have 6 faces there. What are the 6 faces? Face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, this is face 5, and this is face 6. So this 6 is what is being mentioned here. And these things are shared into 8 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8 is there. Okay, and that is this 1 by 8, 8 into 1 by 8. 6 atoms are shared by 2 centers. The numbers which I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is shared by another cube here. So half. Okay, each body centered cube, each face centered cube. Okay, face centered cube is shared by 2 cubes. So on the 2 the inge varadu. Okay, so you get that kind of thing. So this is the kind of sharing and the number of atoms that we need to remember. And this particular graph, gives how you measure A, B, and C, how they are cut, a 3-dimensional view of this. So you can easily imagine how this is just 1 by 8 of a particular sphere. 1 by 8 of a sphere. And this is 1 by 2 of a sphere. Okay, if you just cover it up, like this. Okay, this particular thing, if you cover it up, 2 into 1 by 8, 2 into 1 by 8 is equal to 1 by 4. 1 by 4 of a sphere you get. So in the center you have the body centered cube, or you can accommodate so many things. So this slicing, it's giving you an idea of a material. So this may be same atoms repeating in a particular unit. This may be Cl, and they may be bonded, they may not be bonded. That has to be kept in mind. So for today's session, I just stopping here.